So let's say you've been given the problem 2.5 divided by 1/3, and you need to draw a model for it. So here I have 2.5. So I look at it, I've got 1 whole, 2 wholes, and then a half of the same thing. And I'm going to be dividing that into segments that are each 1/3 long. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is I need to make this be an improper fraction. And so 2.5, if I were to cut it in half here, if I look at it, and I were to divide it up like this, whoops, wrong color. Okay, so I draw a line here, and I draw a line here, and so now I have 1 half, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves, 5 halves. So 2.5 is equivalent to 5 halves. So I've got 5 halves, and I'm going to be dividing that by 1/3. So I can't really split this up so well because 5 halves and 1/3 don't really have anything in common. So that being said, I could find a common denominator. So the least common multiple of 2 and 3 is 6, because if I count by 2, it's 2, 4, 6, and if I count by 3, it's 3, 6, 9, and the first number that they have in common is 6, so 6 is the least common multiple. So I'm going to take my same picture that I had earlier, where I had 2.5 divided by 1/3, and I'm going to take my 5 halves, and I'm going to convert that into sixths. So 5 halves is, I need to multiply this by a 3, which means I need to multiply this by a 3, and so there's my 1 that I'm multiplying by, because 3/3 is 1, so that would give me 15 sixths. So let me divide this up. So that means that I'm going to be drawing 3 lines, and then 3 lines, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to split this one up, and then I'm going to split this one up, and there we go. So let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 sixths. And then I'm dividing that into sections that are each 1/3. But once again, I have to have that common denominator. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to multiply this by 2, and multiply this by 2. And that's, remember, that's my 1. Because 2 halves is 1, so I'm not changing the value, I'm just changing how many pieces it's divided into, and then it's 2 sixths. So I'm doing 15 sixths, and I want to know how many sections that are 2 sixths are in there. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to mark these off. So here is 1 group of 2 sixths, and then here is another group of 2 sixths, and another group, and then another, and another, and another, and my final one. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups of 2 sixths. And then I have 1 sixth. Well, 1 sixth is half of a group of 2 sixths. So this is 7.5. 1 group of 2 sixths, 2 groups of 2 sixths, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups, 6 groups, 7 groups, and a half of my last group. So 15 sixths divided by 2 sixths is 7.5. So you'll recall last year when we did division of fractions, we would take 15 sixths divided by 2 sixths. Because I had a common denominator, I would just be dividing my numerators. 15 divided by 2 is 15 halves, because fractions mean that you're going to be dividing. And then 6 divided by 6 is 1, so 15 halves divided by 1 is going to be that 15 halves. And if I change this to a mixed number by division, the 2 is my denominator, so that is my divisor. 2 into 15 goes 7 times, and then I have 1 left over, so that is 7 whole groups and a half of the last group, so 7 halves.